What's up, guys? It's Rob here, and today we need to talk about True Social and DWAC stock because a lot of interesting news has come out regarding True Social over the past couple of days and weeks, and people may not be familiar with it, so we're going to cover that and the impact that it could have on DWAC stock, the Trump social media SPAC. So let's take a look at DWAC first of all on the chart and just see what's been going on over the past couple of days. So we've actually had a really great past couple of days for DWAC stock. We have been very much in the green. In fact, today we were up about 14%. We just kept rising throughout the day, and this mostly happened after DWAC started spiking a couple of days ago on news of a True Social release date. So we're going to be covering that in just a minute, but first we're going to take a look at the Truth Social website. So as currently, this is all there is. If you go to truthsocial.com, all you can actually do at the moment is join the waitlist, or you could go to the App Store listing of it, which is actually where we got the first issuance of a release date, which has actually been taken down. You can't find it on the App Store posting anymore. However, this is where we first found it, and we're going to cover that in just a second, but there's some other information here if you guys are interested. You can scroll down and read the description of the app, as well as see a bunch of different pictures of what it's likely going to look like at release. So, like I said, True Social was initially announced, the release date was announced on the App Store listing, and unfortunately that has been taken off. Maybe it was just a leak, maybe it was a potentially incorrect release date, as we'll look at in just a second. But like I said, it does look very much like Twitter on the pictures that you have here. So there are a bunch of different images that you can see. You can follow different people, you can have little messages with people, and you can also make posts very similar to what you can do on Twitter. And something that I found somewhat interesting was that the way True Social describes these posts that you can make is they don't call them tweets, they call them truths. And the equivalent of a retweet is actually called a retruth. So I thought that was interesting. I mean, it's no surprise that Donald Trump is wanting platform similar to Twitter, right? That he's in control of and can't get kicked off of, because Twitter was definitely his biggest and most popular platform, right? It's the one that he definitely garnered the most support on, that he had the most followers listening to him on, and it's no surprise that he's going to want a platform very similar to that is under his control. So it is unclear at the moment whether February 21st will be the release date for True Social on the web and or Android. It's likely that it will be the release date on the App Store because that is what was posted. Potentially, it was posted in error or maybe as a troll, who knows. But as of the latest news that we've heard, February 21st should be the release date based on the listing that was on the App Store just a couple of days ago. So that's what we're expecting. And very briefly, I did want to point out that we currently have 9,600 subscribers to the channel on YouTube. If you guys want to join the family and get more DWAC stock and True Social related news, feel free to subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 10K. We're only 400 away. Or subscribe on Rumble, where we have 446 subscribers. So we're also trying to get to 1,000 here. So feel free to subscribe on Rumble also. Now, there is, unfortunately, some news that's come out from the Washington Post just yesterday that's a little bit more bearish for DWAC stock, right? And a little bit more bearish for a True Social release date. So the headline, the sub-headline of this article is that advisors say the former president is frustrated by the pace of development of his promised website and that it's still months away from its launch. And that doesn't line up with the listing that we saw on the App Store, unfortunately, right? And this story did just come out yesterday at 6 a.m. So basically, Trump, who has discussed but ultimately turned down opportunities to work with other platforms, is supposedly disappointed with how slowly the development has gone for True Social, right? He supposedly is upset that it's been taking so long. However, despite discussing with other social media sites that could potentially have taken some form of True Social public, he is holding out for his own venture, which he believes will be more lucrative and give him more control. So he's not going to make a deal with other sites to work with their social media following. He's just going to keep pushing through and get True Social public and take it online eventually, because he believes it will be more lucrative and give him more control, which makes sense, right? He's been burnt in the past, operating on Twitter and then getting banned. So it makes sense that he just wants to be in control of the new social media site that he's starting up, True Social. So we do have some interesting quotes from his spokesperson, Taylor Budowich, who says the demand for President Trump, his leadership, and his America First solution continues to grow despite big tech's attack on his freedom of speech. And he also says his influence is not limited to any one verified account. To cancel Trump, Twitter, Facebook, and other platforms would have to cancel a majority of their most engaged users. The fact is, you can't cancel MAGA because MAGA is America. So interesting stuff from Taylor, Trump's spokesperson. And we're also getting some interesting news. We've heard this in the past, actually, that the merger between DWAC and TMTG, Trump Media and Technology Group, is being investigated by the Securities and Exchange Commission. So that is notable, but it's not the biggest concern, in my opinion, for the stockholders. I think it would be unlikely that anything too detrimental would happen to DWAC stock. Potentially, I mean, in a bad case scenario, there could be some type of fine, but I wouldn't expect anything too horrible to happen to stockholders. That's just my expectation. It's not a guarantee, but I'm not too worried about the investigation by the SEC. And also notably, we heard about this a bit ago, Devin Nunes, a former GOP congressman from California, resigned January 4th to assume the role of CEO of Trump Media and Technology Group. So he is going to be leading TMTG and taking a leading role with Truth Social. And this makes a lot of sense because he has, in the past, been heavily against tech firms over censorship issues. So that makes a lot of sense that he's going to be leading Truth Social because the whole idea is that it's not going to censor people and ban people like Trump because of these issues. So it makes sense that he's a part of this program and that these tech firms are being worked against essentially by Truth Social. It makes a lot of sense that he wants to work with TMTG and help take the fight to these tech firms. So that's what we're seeing with Devin Nunes. He's also said some interesting things recently. He said, "I still see what I am doing as a public service. It is not political, but it is a public service." And this is what he was telling Fox News, by the way. He said, "This has to be done. This is the most important issue at the highest level." And this is regarding him leaving Congress and going to work at Trump Media and Technology Group. He says, "It is really serious what we're doing. Millions of Americans and people around the globe are counting on us to get this done and to get it done right." And he's notably one of the first on a bunch of things technologically wise, right? He was the first in Congress to really start sending text messages to his constituents. He helped develop the digital arm of the National Republican Congressional Committee, and he was one of the first elected officials to transition to Rumble. Interestingly enough, as well, he said in a quote, "I was one of the first to be shadow banned on Twitter, and I was the first to go to Parler." So notably, he was also, one of the first to go to Rumble, which, like I said, I am also on Rumble. So feel free to subscribe to me there. You may be watching the video there. Feel free to subscribe. But guys, all in all, Devin Nunes seems like a decent choice for CEO of TMTG and will eventually be taking over as soon as DWAC transitions into TMTG. He'll be in charge of these shareholders, so you'll be in his hands. He'll be leading the company and taking care of Truth Social as it launches. So he's a very important figure to keep an eye on. And all in all, things seem to be going very well for DWAC stock, especially over the past couple of days. We can see that we have been rising in a decent way. We've finally broken out of this $50 to $55 zone that we've been stuck in for the past while. And it looks like we're on the way up. Now, obviously, $70 is the next resistance that we're looking at. We did hit that up at one point. We got to $69.49. Hopefully, we won't have much trouble with it and we can just blast right through. And after that, it looks like we'll be on the way, potentially, to 100. So hopefully, we'll see some good stuff coming with DWAC stock in the near future. Obviously, we'll be keeping a close eye on February 21st to see if that's actually when Truth Social ends up being listed on the App Store publicly and openly, and when people can actually start downloading it. That's the hope. We have missed some key dates before in the past, so who knows if that will actually be the case, but it's a hope. So other than that, guys, keep in mind that this is not financial advice. I'm not recommending that anyone buy or sell any shares of DWAC or any other stock. I'm just letting you guys know some of the news regarding Truth Social and DWAC. So if you guys are interested in more of that, feel free to subscribe to the channel and like the video. And other than that, guys, have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.